So another good episode this week, not a great one, I'm going to get to that in a moment. Oh, by the way, I'm Al, this is the Geek in Review, and I'm going to be talking about Star Trek Prodigy, Season 1, Episode 15, Masquerade. So if you haven't seen it, spoilers ahead. And the hint's in the name, but I'll get to that at the end, because they got to that at the end of the episode. Anyway, so yeah, opening up, I thought this was going to be a Rock Talk episode, but it was more of a Dal one, and again, not my favourite. And I do keep saying it every week, but the animation gets better and better. Although I wasn't a fan of the story or pace particularly much, this episode, I think it might be the best looking episode of Star Trek Prodigy yet. And the score as well in certain parts does feel epic, especially during the action sequences on the lift. That was really great. It doesn't deliver the follow-up you might want from last week in terms of stake or pace. I thought last week was a little bit of best of both worlds for Janeway Part 1, but it's definitely not that. So anyway, what's going on? So yeah, the gang are in the neutral zone and the ship's in need of repairs. And is Murph the same species as Dal? We do find out about Dal in this episode, but not anything about Murph. But I still think that Murph is going to turn into some sort of version of whatever Dal's species is. A lot of questions here, and we do get some answers, but let's get on with the episode. And speaking of Dal, he's jealous of O'Connor, still on board, Han Solo and all that. And when you think about it, this is the first time that these kids have really had to deal with an adult that's not trying to kill them. But yeah, O'Connor's making himself at home in the captain's chair. And Billy Campbell, although he's not used as much as last week, is great in this episode, and I hope we get to see him more as O'Connor going forward. But Janeway, the real one that is still dealing with the Romulans. Well, she's dealing with Starfleet, dealing with the Romulans, and in particular Admiral Jellico, who has been in the teaser stuff, so we knew that he was coming back. And you either love or hate this guy, and I absolutely love him. It is a pretty deep cut considering he was only in 2 episodes of TNG, but what a 2 episodes, my god, the guy shook up the entire ship, literally. And he sort of overrides Janeway and tells her to destroy the Protostar, which I don't think she's ever going to do. Like I say, I do hope he pops up because I want to get more backstory on Jellico, but is he an admiral or a badmiral? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So the gang find a planet to make repairs, and yet, when they show up, how good does this look? They've got the orbit and skylift thing which they need to use, which I think they used in the most recent season of Lower Decks as well, but everything here with the planet and the landing and the orbit looks brilliant. The animation is super sharp, and I don't know what it is about this week, but it does just look a little bit better than the previous weeks. Maybe because it's a bit lighter, with the Borg episode and a few other ones, but I definitely noticed a little change to the animation here. And I know that some people are going to say the planet is a little bit Star Warsy. That's always been a criticism of this show, but it works for me. So yeah, as I said at the start, you think that it's going to be a Rock Talk episode because they mentioned science, and she's like, hey, we're doing science, I'm going to go along, because O'Connor's got to deliver to some genetic engineer the stuff that he lost from last week, so, he's not going to deliver it. And then after that, it sort of tails into a bit of Dal because she's very interested in him. So are we getting his origin stories? Sort of. It's revealed that he's been genetically engineered by one of Sun's proteges. So that's another Sun? How many kids do these guys keep having, and who are these proteges? So yeah, that's the answer, but it's a bit more complex because Dal is a mix of 26 species, humans, Vulcans, Klingons, the whole lot. But what's the end goal here? I can't really figure this out. Is it to make some sort of super federation species or something? Is there more of them? In this episode they mention that the station that they're at operates outside Federation space, which is basically a way of saying that they're breaking the law. So what else is going on out in these regions of space? I guess we're going to have to wait and see. And this doctor wants to enhance him, but again, what's the end goal? He initially tells the gang he doesn't want it, and then he turns his back 2 seconds later and goes and does it, and none of them think to ask, hey man, what happened in those 15 minutes that we were away? I know it is a kid's show, and I know you've got to turn the logic off sometimes, So it did feel like a little bit of a letdown in terms of plot logic, but I suppose they had to do it to get the story where it needed to be. But what about the Romulans? Well, they are still on the hunt themselves and they go after the Prometheus. Sorry, I mean the Protostar, because man, these guys really like to take over Starfleet ships, and Starfleet sort of seem to want to let them. So they take over the ship without much fight and then go after the guys on the planet. And they're using the same weapons that the Romulans were using in Picard, so I suppose that's canon. But stop it, stop referencing Picard, no one wants that. Maybe season 3 will be good, I don't know, but not now. Anyway, Enhanced Dal goes all Jekyll and Hyde, and it's a sort of multiple personality, and I get what they're trying to do. Dal wants to be better than O'Connor because he's insecure, but is this also a message to kids about the dangers of cosmetic enhancements, or am I overthinking it? Also, this is definitely going to be Dal's version of the emotion chip. They didn't destroy it at the end, so it's probably going to be back. But although I wasn't the biggest fan of this section of the episode, the entire escape scene with the lift was great. The animation is maybe the best. I keep saying it, the show has ever looked, and it's definitely finding its style. All the beats are here, and the score during the action on the lift is great as well. Janeway does try and destroy the ship, but of course it doesn't work. And Dal gets saved once they're all back on board. But what about the Diviner? Do you remember him? Well, he's still trying to remember himself. And then we get a big reveal at the end that the Starfleet Ensign isn't a Starfleet Ensign. She's a member of the Diviner's race who's been sent back in time. So is she the T-1000 to his Arnold, who was sent back first? I've seen a few people say online that maybe she's a clone of Gwen, but I don't think so. She might be the Diviner's other daughter though, you just don't know. Let me know your theories below. So this show does feel like it's going into new territory with the writing and what they're attempting. Although they're going through all these stories very quickly, the pace does feel a little bit rushed. With 5 episodes left to go and the season 2, where is this show going to go next? Well, some questions answered and some raised in a game-changing reveal. But what did you guys think of this episode? Let me know in the comments below. Did you like the Romulans? Did you like Jellico? Did you like the big reveal at the end and what's going on with Dal? I want to hear your theories. You can also reach out to me on Twitter at the Geeks Reviews, if that's still even active by the time this video comes out, because you never know these days. If you've made it this far, please leave a like on the channel and subscribe as well. It means so much to me. And my name's Al. Thanks for watching.